location he's from, but it looks like they are all alone in... This is actually one of my favorite POIs. The reason his Mantis, check it out. You are in the very top left corner of the map, so the fact that you're playing the edge of map means that the majority of players are not going to be landing there, so the chances are you actually get a free spawn. And being uncontested allows you to just take your time looting. There is a vault there, I believe, and then there is also a Spider-Man spawn. So really, really good location because you can grab the Spider-Man spawn for easy rotation in the future rounds, and then you can also take out what is it? You can also take out some opponents if need, or not take out, but you can also get some tags on opponents. But Storm Surge isn't a mechanic that we've been seeing in these games. The lobbies have not been too stacked yet. We're just taking a look, hopping around the map right now, just seeing what everyone is up to. XP League North OC is landing on the Spider-Man bridge, it looks like.
Yep, a very common spot that we've seen in a lot of these games because of those mythics and just the general resources gathering that can happen around here.
So this specific spot XP League. North OC XP League. He's got a mythic. He's got two mythics actually, Mantis, as accompanied by the purple shotgun. That
purple shotgun. Bunch of chug splashes as well.
Decent amount of damage, and then he can close that up with the AR spray. He doesn't really have too much ammo though, from what it seems. He actually
I have a feeling he got the AR out of a tent. I wouldn't be too surprised if that was the case.
I actually think it is the only way that we could have gotten the AR. The AR does actually spawn over here at the Sanctuary, which is going to be in the central right side of the map. And this is actually not where they spawned. So, you know, it means that they would have had to use a tent in order to get that weapon. So right here, we're looking at a player at the Sanctuary. This is actually where you would be getting the MK, Mythic MK normally, but since that other player had it on the other side of the map, then really is going to be a tent like you mentioned. Now we're taking a look at the Joneses. It's Brookfield. There's actually another mythic spawn right here by the Joneses, actually. Speaking of mythic spawns, there's a lot of Spider-Man spawns around the map. I believe there's about a total of 15 to 20 possible Spider-Man mythics in a single game, which is a fifth of the lobby, Mantis, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's not unnoticeable. Yeah, like if a whole team gets a setup with them, they basically have free roam of the environment, and that's like, yeah, like you said, a fifth of the teams. That's a lot of motion, a lot of utility.
Well, like you said, they have a lot of mobility, and so it's a little bit of a controversy in the Fortnite competitive scene right now, where a lot of players are complaining about the Spider-Mans being in competitive simply because there's somebody who knows how to get around with them and take advantage of the movement that it offers is able to push fights really quickly and also able to, run away from fights just as quickly. The key there is jump animation canceling or jump canceling, because the longer you're on a web, you risk getting shot out, and then you have to wait until the timer comes up, during which time you might get shot out. So the method here is to wait. Hold on a second. I thought we were about to see a shot come out.
I don't believe so. I think they are playing the patient game here.
They are playing the patient game. They are in the open here, so I'm a little bit concerned for them overall. But it looks like they're just going to be going all the way around. They're just trying to avoid. They're not even going to third party this fight. So it looks like they're just going to keep walking around the outskirts, rotating past Greasy. There is another team here, sitting in the bush.
Yes, we are very familiar with Bush.
This is a very, very good tactic, though, Mantis. You don't understand. I mean,
No,
replacement. There's no builds being used. There's nothing. No resources being burned for their protection. Sure, they're not technically protected, but I mean, if no one's shooting at you, you know, what's the harm?
No. Yeah, exactly. As you were saying about the Spider-Man mythics, it does seem pretty strange that the item is basically so powerful that it's become the meta in a way, and they had to add more of them to the map to basically even out the game, it seems. That's how I see it. Because if only one team had the Spider-Man mythic, then they would just be overpowered. Although I guess that's how a lot of the other mythics work as well.
That is very true. I mean, similar to the MK minus the tent. If you remember the previous seasons, there's always one mythic, like you just said. So that team that had that mythic or landed at that spawn and was able to win the off spawn fight, they always had a power spike compared to some of the other teams and some of the other players around. And
so I suppose
right with what you said about the balance of there being more, but
the weapons usually come with a cost as well. The weapons come with the cost of risk to gain them as well.
That is very true. That is very true. As well as a lot of ammo being needed to take down the Foundation, who possesses that mythic MK. Right now, we're taking a look at XP League Irvine. This is the South Orange County in Southern California location here. We have Hyper, LBYT, and Suts. So it's going to be Barrett and. Oh, I think they spot an enemy. No, that is not an enemy. It looks like they're just sitting around. They're going to take the rift to rotate here. These rifts do exist several places around the map. One of them being the original drop spawn that we looked at on the very top of the hill where we're talking about the Spider-Man bridge, having the rifts and the vault. Looks like this team right now is rotating in towards zone. There is a lot of fog, so they don't really have to worry too much about being shot out of the sky. And it's going to be Last Shogunate, who is actually down for the count at the moment. His teammate, Typhoon Sniper, needs to try and get his teammate up. Putting up that wall to make sure he doesn't catch him.
Ooh, it was too late. Unfortunate there. Gamer Dog is now the only player remaining on this team. Let's see, are they near enough to be able to help the team? It's kind of difficult to tell the scene with this, but it does look like he's up top, but the enemies do have this location on lockdown. Nope. He was not up there.
They're actually down, and me seeing Last Shogunate taking a look at the Crow. Missing, unfortunately, but that Crow, if I had taken down the Crow, would have given them white HP. Unfortunately, they didn't stick to it. They do have 3 Chug Splash, and it looks like they're just going to go here with a car. One of the players, Last Shogunate, does have a Crown Victory Royale, so what that means is he must have won his last game that he played. Congratulations to him. Looks like Gamer Dog and Shogunate are zipping out Mantis. They are out. They don't want anything to do with that. They're like, we're low. We lost a teammate, but we'd rather stay alive, get the placement points. We're just going to play smart. See you guys later.
Yep, fortunately it is still early game and they're able to use that vehicle to their advantage. Looks like this team here is camping this zip line. They are probably thinking about it as a potential escape route, although they may also be looking for a team down there.
I think that's exactly
they are in the middle of the zone.
Team looking
Ooh, shot filed 89.
XPL FC hits a nice sniper shot. Fortunately, it wasn't a headshot, but still, the body does do a whopping 90 damage. So
yeah, that was almost all of the shield health.
Yes. Oh, we're seeing the flare gun being shot back. The flare gun is sort of like a recon, like we talked about last week, and then it also has that burning effect. It can be very useful for aggroing and de-aggroing opponents off.
It's like they decided to box up. The high ground is a bit too intimidating for them, but they are still going after it. Shots being fired, starting to beat down those walls. Ooh, it looks like they did manage to get an enemy outside of their blocks.
too far down. He's still with his teammates, so he doesn't have to
Yeah.
worry too much here. They do have to be careful though, because I did see a little bit of visual effects happening behind them. So we could see a pinch situation coming out here for this team right now if they don't box up properly from the team behind them. But it looks like they're actually just trying to get out of here.
Yeah, or
They are being
potentially a
shot
third
at.
party.
A lot of chip damage.
But yeah.
One player is low. It looks like they don't have any shields here to recover from this. Oh, FC did have single shield, if I'm not mistaken. There goes most of their heals, though. This team above them still taking a look at them. And there goes. We hear another sniper just right off behind them. They're going to have to be careful, making sure that they don't get caught in a third-party situation here. This would be the third
Here
party
we
that they
can
were
see the
previously
sniper,
looking at.
yep. Very patiently taking an eye across that gap there.
I mean, Mantis, you can tell that they want to rotate off, but they have to be careful about that
they-
height because
yeah.
they were getting shot. They don't have any heals from this point on, so they have to be careful about the damages or the trades that they decide to take here.
Yep, they were able to come across this shield mushroom and that meat,
We are seeing FC,
which will help them a bit.
It's like their stomach flora is very strong.
Yep,
Looks like
making
they're
sure to
rotating
keep
away.
that defense.
The zone
Yeah, I
is-
think
they're
they're
not in
trying to
zone right
take
here,
this
Mantis.
other mountain. Oh, that's true. They are rotating away from the zone, although there is still a fair bit of time before it catches up with them.
I think they've decided to go back up, but instead,
It looks like they've run into someone here.
precisely, that actually looks exactly like what happened.
Yeah.
They didn't really want to take this fight. I mean, you see FC right now playing quite passive, just really maintaining that distance, trying to stay with his teammate. There's another guy pushing forward, and he's going to do some
Getting
chip
two
damage
shots
with that
there.
auto shotty there.
Yeah, they need to take one of these mountains, otherwise they're not going to be able to escape this area. This being the lower one seems like an easier target.
Not to mention the managed to get enough.
Hey, there we go.
2 HP, and there's a
That's the finish. Oh, unfortunately, forgot about the enemies. Cross, yep.
Come down to FC2. Oh, and it looks like that is it for that team.
This team is completely uncontested right now. Just taking shots in this match. Yeah. Oh, it looks like there's another team somewhere else even, from a mountain on the right. Everyone is just looking at this fight, trying to get those points for this tournament, get those kills.
Elimination points.
Elimination points,
Precisely.
yeah.
I mean, I have seen in the previous seasons where a point literally put a team above another team, and that point comes down to just a single elimination at the end of the day. So, you know, replacements, these teams have to take into consideration some of the additional points that they could be getting by playing a little bit more aggressive or being a little more vigilant, perhaps being able to steal a kill from another team.
And this team is playing on the ultimate high ground in the area, so they're not going to have too much of an opposition facing them right now.
You do have to be careful because this is the top of the hill, meaning that everyone else does know where they are.
Oh yeah,
Right now they are holding everyone off, but at the same time they are exposed to a sniper from an angle that they're not looking at.
yeah, which is sort of what we were seeing at the beginning of these fights with that first team. But it does seem like they're basically asserting their dominance on top of this mountain. Nobody is able to like get super close, although it does look like we're seeing a push forming right here.
We're
Tree.
seeing Tree and his teammates boxed up on the side of the hill. They should have been that team on very long. It looks like that team on the hill really is aggressing on everybody.
Yeah, and everyone is aggressing back at them as well. So they have made themselves quite a target. And we'll see how that pans out throughout this match. Also, the zone does appear to be moving off of that mountain in the next movement of the next phase.
Closing
So
zone. Yeah. Next phase.
it's going to be difficult. We'll see how that works out for them as well.
The players we're looking at right now looks like they're not really paying attention to the left side, which could be dangerous because we know, Mantis, that's that team that's shooting at everybody.
They do have a comparable high ground, though. It looks like they are just sort of scouting items of fallen players outside the zone, though, and they seem to be somewhat distracted by that. They're trusting the mountain with the cover that it provides, but they only have just the slightest bit of cover with that slope on the hill.
These players don't have too many heals for themselves either, so they do have to be careful on, you know, the damage going off right now. It's gonna be that team on top right now. Dominating. Go off indeed, actually.
I don't know if it's gonna be worth anything. Oh, it does look like they got a jump pad out, but I don't think they're gonna survive that. Yeah.
Gets taken down.
It's only
Rotating out with the Spider-Man.
looks like they spotted it.
Away?
The res is for nothing.
In the zone.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like they did just sort of shift across the mountain, and were able to keep that.
Oh, and we're talking about that
Ooh,
earlier,
there's
right?
that
Just
sniper,
that
yeah.
angle, the snipers, you have to be careful. They have to be careful so that other teams don't push them in the middle of this. But it looks like they do have an additional player even higher up, just making sure that they don't get pushed.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
seeing
something-
the Spider-Man movement below the mountain as well. Yeah. We've got the bushwhackers here. And I mean, hey, it's working. Very
They
coordinated
don't have too
there.
much material, so this is probably the best play, to be honest with you. They do have to be mindful of this next zone's rotation, however.
Especially with the players up on height on the mountain. They're just sort of focusing at all the builds. They're not looking at the environment as much, so
Exactly,
they should
so
be
these guys
more
should
well
have a free
hidden.
ticket in. Oh, one of the players actually has a lot of materials. He needs to split his teammates some, but it looks like he's going to be holding all the materials for himself. Maybe this is
There's also
strategic
the
play.
player with a lot of powerful weapons.
That is very true. So this could be a strategic play. Not exactly sure. Oh, and it looks like Salt Lake City's all by himself. Taking out like this. He only has 44 HP. That is a matter of 2 shots. If he gets hit by 2,
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's not playing for placement at this point. Maybe the enemies already know he's in the area and he's trying to keep them away.
He's trying to kick the enemies down with the logs, and he manages to
Oh,
do 100
he
damage
got
with
the-
log.
Oh man, that is crazy.
And another 100 with the log.
Another 40, 80, and he gets the knock.
So like using the brain to the utmost potential. I mean, I don't
Getting
think I've seen
that
before
finish
in a
now.
competitive game, to be honest. We just
That
saw
was
a player
amazing.
taking down an opponent strictly with logs. He did a total of about 240 damage there with the logs and managed to
It was
close
like
out
5
the elimination
separate
with the rest of
threes.
the shots. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
Just, I have never seen that. That was amazing. That was probably the highlight of the day, to be honest with you. Salt Lake City 3, solo, manages
Yeah.
to take
And he's
the
able to
elimination as a
recover his
solo.
HP.
He does recover his HP. He has plenty of building materials. He is in zone here. The goal here is probably to get up. He doesn't want to stay on the low ground.
There are only 9 players remaining. Well, it could be a cover. Oh no, he's just drawn a lot of attention now. Without that tree in the way, it's a bit more obvious. And there's quite a bit of fire coming out. He does break in the shields on that player though. That was a lot of damage through that window. Ooh, trying to break that floorboard out.
Take those moon fights. He's really being a little risky here. He does have that.
Yeah. Spray here in the back, but
He does have that med.
I don't know if he has much. He's pretty. It takes a lot of time to heal with this thing, but I mean, they're not really aggressing. They're just sort of breaking his build. So he's.
It's kind of
seems-
interesting to see that he took the tent instead of the med spray. Maybe because the
Yeah.
tent is a full charge and the med spray was already pretty much used, but that was kind of interesting to see that because I know that the tent makes noise. Underneath, that gets
Oh, gets a
knocked.
knock already. Using the bush for cover.
There's a player in the home right now, or in the bush.
It looks like they are trying to sort of third party already at the beginning of this fight. The team on the top and the single player are both sort of aiming at this team. Oh, okay, so it's getting near the end. The players are starting to go for height battles. We're seeing a box tower built up already. 9 players remaining still.
Looks like
Lots of fire coming on outside. But,
North OC is just trying to play the placement right here. They are really well connected. No one's going to be able to shoot them down. It looks like they... No, that's actually not what's happening.
No, it's another team, yeah. Another team getting shot at. I think this is the solo player. I don't know.
This is actually a solo player or duo. This is a duo on top of North OC right here. I wonder if North OC is aware. Oh, they managed to get the knocked player. This was the player that was knocked earlier. So they managed to get the revive on one of the players, so they're back as a trio. However, they are stuck on the low ground here. They may want to consider going up a layer or two. Now we're seeing the other team, North OC, now we're seeing Irvine. This is going to be Irvine here. Exchanging ammo with each other. The zone is moving here. It looks like that SMG ammo does get left in zone, unfortunately. They do have a launch pad that they can use in order for a high ground retake. Looks like they're inching forward here.
Good box movement there, yeah.
We're seeing
slowly moving with that zone.
We're seeing the elevation change come out from this team. This team on height doesn't have too much materials. They're on 400 wood, and that's about the max count. There is another player coming up with a high ground retake here.
Half of that shield was broken, though.
Brand all the way stuck on the very bottom. They have supply players.
Oh, I think they slipped down the mountain. Oh, the zone is just moving directly down this mountain and giving the players with height a big advantage, although he is pushing in. It is a 3v3, I believe. Oh, getting 2 picks. It's a 1v... No. Is it a 3v1 at the moment? No, it's a 2v2, I believe. 2v... Yeah.
It is a 2v1 with one knocked player at the moment.
Ah, yeah.
We're playing Sut's house. Get the elimination of the last remaining player. GG's well played.
That is the first round.
43-4. GG's well played. That was a really, really good try on both parties, actually. That endgame is actually very good. Mind you, this is a silver lobby. All right, let's send it back to the casting camp for our post-game analysis.
Yeah, so that one team that held height that whole time was pretty powerful throughout the game. I don't know if... I believe they were one of the final teams remaining as well. And basically just... the whole end game from the basically halfway through to the end, that mountain was such a powerful location. And it was just sort of a king of the hill battle there going on with all of the teams, which was really interesting to watch. And that building towards the end was very well done. Those pushes from the low ground. Unfortunately, that one team at the very bottom was unable to gain any height because they had started on the low ground from the mid game, and they weren't able to climb that mountain. But it did. But yeah, so the height worked out really well for them.
I mean, if you saw that team, that was the Irvine team that was basically doing a lot of damage all across, and interesting to see that they actually had a lot of AR ammo, because as far as I remember, the second, third zone, they were just spraying at almost every team that showed any sign of trying to rotate by the hill, around the hill. They did manage to get a little bit of their impact refresh eliminations towards the end, which kept them going towards, the final zones. But they did a really good job situating and picking a location. They got lucky with the zones. Everything went in the favor of that team right there. So GG's well played. All right, Mantis, let's go ahead and get things ready for the next game. We'll be back when the game starts in just a few.
has landed and is beginning to loot. Right now we're looking at Anonymous with Tree and Doc Holiday fighting over the Daily Bugle. It looks like another team's already pushing them. Oh, Tree is getting pressured quite a bit, but Anonymous is coming up behind him. Oh, unfortunately drops there. No more line of sight on the enemies to help his teammate.
Fortunately, it looks like he's not in a good position to help his teammate. He's actually not running towards that fight. He is spending his time looting, which is understandable, but he does need to try and help his teammates out as soon as possible. Unless his teammates are like, hey man, I'm good, just keep looting.
They may be playing for the revive as well, because it is early game, so the reboot vans are going to be less occupied at the moment, since there's more of them distributed around the map. But I mean, that is still somewhat of a risky play because you are playing 2 players as opposed to 3. Speaking of 2 players, we're now spectating a game, a squad with 2 players, getting a nice looking chest there. They do have the legendary,
mythic,
yep.
Or mythic. They also have the exotic, the weapon that you see in the second weapon slot is going to be an exotic weapon, actually. That weapon is special because it is the dual barrel shotgun, essentially. But in addition to it being a dual barrel shotgun, it actually also has a little bit of not exactly sure, but thrust per se. You'll see it when he shoots the gun, but basically you can use it for movement. You can use it to knock enemies down from their builds and things like that. It's pretty interesting. You have to be careful about when you use it because you could end up not shooting your flying off your own builds by using this weapon at the wrong time. Oh, taking a look at XPL Hudson. It looks like they're caught in an engagement right now. I'm not sure if they're trying to stop a reboot or if they got caught in a reboot. Looks like they're trying to stop a reboot, but we do see Hudson getting knocked and returning a knock as well. There's actually 2 knock players. I believe this is the last player. It's going to be a 2v1 situation, and they're able to clean it up.
And they get that team.
Eliminates his team
very
just in time
clean.
there, Mantis.
Yep, Hudson was surrounding that team, it seemed like, especially with Trusty Lamp coming in from the side. The enemy team didn't see him while they were preoccupied with the teammates.
So
that
the
worked out
opposing
really well.
team actually just got rebooted. That's why that situation happened as is.
They had very limited resources.
Oh, and we're seeing a new strategy? This is potentially a new strategy. We are seeing Wolvie sit behind a cone. It's pretty interesting, actually. We're also seeing Killer Boss just recouping some of it HP in the tent. Looks like they're going to rotate forward. Hopefully there isn't an enemy here. There is an enemy back past this building here. They do see the player. They're going to take a sniper. Misses, though. And that other player might be a solo. Not exactly sure how that's going to play out.
Yeah, they very quickly noticed that sniper. Oh, big fighting going on up front. It looks like they were pushed in the meantime. Wolfie, only with 7 health, trying to get this elimination to save himself. Unfortunately, he does get knocked down. Night Ninja is the only remaining, and he gets knocked as well. Hyper, the only remaining player on the opposing team, is able to successfully resurrect his teammates here, it looks like. Unless we see a third party come in. But I didn't see anything in the surrounding area, so I believe they are safe.
I mean, be careful what you talk about, because you know the caster's curse.
You're right.
As soon as we talk about it, it happens, and they happen to leave an edit open. I almost felt the snipe coming in, but it didn't. Go on and move on. Taking a look at Glow Bubbly. He's got a mythic for himself. This is a duo as well. They see an opposing player. Low on HP, they almost hit the sniper, but it misses
close.
by just a few pixels. Looks like they're going to push onto this Mantis. They're playing forward aggressive right now. There is a player in the bottom. Oh, and there's an opening in the very top. This could be dangerous for him. They do see the... Oh, Mantis, do you see what I'm seeing?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, the enemies did
players.
not see that roof was open. Trying to push in. Ooh, gets the 91, almost a knock. There it goes. Using that edit to save himself there. His teammate's able to come in from the other side. Looks like someone switched places. That was a little confusing. But yeah, they were able to take that building super easily with the access from that roof. And just sort of the general confidence of aggression there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if they knew it was a duo or if they thought it was a solo, but they definitely knew that this was a fight that they wanted to push. So you could tell by the way, the quick decision making that you saw there. No hesitation.
Yep. Looks like they have found the Spider-Man mythic there. What? That is a large drill.
That is a large drill, and actually, I'm not exactly sure what their purpose here is. It does have something to do with the lore behind the island at the moment. They are indestructible, and there are several of them placed around the maps, around mounds of dirt, for a lack of better words.
Also looking at a dinosaur, that's pretty crazy.
Also, I'd like to point out the fact that Anonymous339 did not choose to pick up the 3 big pots that were lying around, and instead has 3 ARs.
Interesting, yeah. Well, that's definitely super fast reload, because you don't have to...
No reload, man. You won't
Yeah.
even reload at this rate.
You don't need to,
this
yeah.
is the meta. I mean, I saw it posted in the XPL discussion where I saw in a text channel where one of the coaches was like, what this current meta is looking like, and he's just all SMGs, and I was like, yep, that actually probably works this season.
Yeah, I could see that. I remember the same thing happened with the double barrel shotguns a while ago. A lot of powerful beaming coming out here. Looks like both teams traded a bit of damage. Although Safari is able to get some shield health back. Trying to break that. He's able to get rid of that enemy's cover. Unfortunately, he is separated from his team. Oh, 15 health left. That is not a good situation.
Goes to go for the HP shield. Unfortunately, the SMG, that Stinger SMG, is gonna bleed through. It's gonna be Irvine managing to get the third party here. This is
those
the team that we saw
SMGs,
earlier.
so powerful.
Yes. So it
can
looks
see
like
the
they
jump
managed to
canceling
eliminate
here.
the team with the exotic. It does do a good amount of damage, but the concern here is, like I mentioned, falling off your builds and using that in the middle of a build fight.
I would be pretty scared to eat some blue mushrooms. That pizza does not look safe, but I suppose blue mushrooms are pretty common in this world, so...
One thing about the shield, one thing about the new pizza slices that are introduced that we just saw, ladies and gentlemen, they do also heal a large amount of HP, but more so than that, they also give you 25 shield up to a maximum of 50. So they kind of act like enhanced minis in a way, simply because it takes you up to 50, but no further than 50 shield, but it also rejuvenates your white HP as well.
Yeah, being the mushroom pizza, it's like a shield item and a food item at the same time, so it makes sense.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah.
Thanks for pointing that out. One other thing about the new pizza is that you can actually throw it down, and you can actually feed, I believe, a whole squad, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 8 slices.
Yep,
The standard
that is
pizza
typical
count.
Pizza count, yep. Tactical pizza count.
Alright, so this
looks
is going
like
to be
we saw
Tilted
some tents
Towers. This is one of the locations that has been back recently. I believe this was reintroduced to this season about 2 weeks back. This is a very, very popular POI in many games that you see. I mean, this is an OG spot that has existed for 3 chapters now, more or less. Sure, the landscape has changed of Tilted itself, but this one right here is a specific OG Tilted. Oh, and we're seeing Anonymous right here, getting shot at by another team on the outskirts here.
Though it looks like
The team is
multiple
kind of
teams
together, so they don't have
gained
to worry
notice
too
of
much
that as
about
well.
getting caught out here, Mantis. They're all together, and it looks like they're just trying to rotate out, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about this team. I'm more worried about the team that was taking shots at them, because it looks like they've drawn quite a bit of attention to themselves from across that valley. Maybe we'll see how that goes. Yep, that's a chicken. Rooster, I guess.
That is actually a giant-sized chicken. So we're seeing
Those sounds
we're
are
seeing
amazing.
Irvine with a chicken. That would be the mythic
Does look
MK
like,
that you're hearing there with the rapid fire speed. We're seeing another fight break out at Coney Crossroads. One of the shields gets ripped off the opposing players.
Oh, looks like
Tyler
he's going down from fall
619.
damage. Yep.
4-4. Oh no, he has to be careful about getting shot out right here. He is tarping out.
That is some dangerous movement with only one layer, but he is able to. Oh, that was extremely close.
That
Oh,
was a little too close for my comfort.
oh man.
Almost gets eliminated to fall damage there. Failed to connect.
Yeah.
There is a player still in the vicinity, so Tyler needs to be really careful here. And there's the player in the vicinity. He is putting up his defensive builds. However, his opponent sprays in. His opponent seems to be one step ahead in that fight right there. It's going to be Tree.
His opponent did have the edit on that block above him. Yep.
And we're seeing another third party coming in. That was a sniper bullet. It almost looked like it actually hit our player here. But I'm not sure.
It doesn't look like this team is in too much danger at the moment, though. They do all have a decent amount of health. And
no, it doesn't. And if anything, it looks like they're actually aggressing onto the direction that they got shot from.
Oh, yeah.
Showing the counter aggression. Sometimes your best defense is offense, Mantis.
That does make sense, yep.
But the opposite could be said as well. So I think it depends on the situation.
That's true as well.
So we're seeing
and we're going to see which of those applies in this case.
We're seeing Jedbuka revisualize and overwrite. They are more or less in the edge of zone. They do have a mythic on the team. I'm not sure how many of their players have mythics, but they do have mythics here. Not too much heals. There's a free big shot, big shield lying on the side of the hill, but they do seem to be prioritizing the white HP. Oh, and our teammate swings into an opponent. I believe this might be Tree, if I'm not mistaken. And it is Tree, and you know by his signature playstyle at this point. Tree manages to take another elimination here, just not too long after the Coney engagement.
Yeah, as soon as that SMG came out, that was just terrifying.
I'm not sure if Tree was actually looking for this team or if they had just happened to swing into each other.
It did look like an accident, yeah.
Absolutely dominating. Gets taken down to a slower HP, but
he's able to knock the other player, and it looks like the rest of his team cleaned up.
Man, Tree's wreaking a lot of havoc in these lobbies, to be honest with you. We're seeing him week after week after week, just not just eliminating, but absolutely dominating a lot of these players in terms of like the edits, the angles that he's taking, you know, the reaction speed, the building speed, everything in this player is just next level. Somebody get this man a promotion into gold.
Watching him Spider-Man around is scaring me a bit with that limited HP that he's got at the moment. But
that is true. That is true. He does have to be careful. The burn damage as well. He does have to be careful of the burn damage because that's 2 ticks from burn. Because we do know that the fire does do 15 damage per second, so that would literally be 2 ticks, and he'd be down to the count. Down for the count. Oh, Snipesy is a solo. This is one of the duos that we were talking about last game.
Yeah. Looks like he's keeping a safe distance, just barely inside the zone, although he's going to have to move over a bit to stay in here. Oh, he's actually going for a big rotation across this valley here to take over the fortress that another team once had. Very smart move there. Not making any more builds. He's not going to draw any more attention to him. And he's got a nice position in the current zone, although it looks like he is going to have to move a little farther in the next one.
He is going for the dead side rotate here, actually. If he rotates... Oh, he took the wide rotate, which is acceptable. Both are acceptable rotates, I believe. It looks like everyone is kind of focused on the battlefield at the moment.
Yep,
looks like we're just seeing Tree and his team run through.
Yeah, no, actually, that's the same fight from before, I believe. Same loot. Looks like a truck coming in, though, out of nowhere. Ooh, gets knocked out of the vehicle. I don't see any teammates around, so that's not looking too good for him.
No, that's gonna be that's really unfortunate. You have to be careful. Oh, there's the teammate. The teammate catches up, swinging in, but not in the nick of time.
Not early enough, yeah.
Now it looks like a teammate is trying to run away. Oh, and Tree's getting shot from the
taking
side.
A bit of damage. Another enemy, looks like a third party probably, coming in from the north, I believe that is. Although it does look like they have the materials to protect themselves in this situation.
It looks like they're just gonna heal up, and we're seeing the tried and
Another
true method.
Bush players, yeah. I'm surprised that they didn't draw that attention with the flight coming in.
Oh wait,
Is that another Bush player?
that is a
Could it be
separate
an
Bush player.
entire
There's
team?
another team in the.
Oh man, I think I
no.
saw a chug splash go off.
We did. I think that was some sort of shield animation going off, and now we're seeing two teams potentially just staring at each other. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't know. It could be that this team knows the other team's there and the other team does not. But this team did just fly into the bush, so it could be the other way.
Party rotating in just
Well,
behind them.
oh, hopefully they don't walk
no,
direct.
the
Oh
team
man!
rotates right
Oh
into the
no! Straight through the bush.
Now, will
That
the
was
other team
just
come out of the
unlucky.
woodworks?
Oh, they are trying to play for it. Okay, maybe it is only one player, but that that stress from watching that looks like they got the cancel on that Spider-Man. Able to escape into the trees, actually. That could be a safe spot to stay, although he does not choose to take it. Going towards the edge of zone again, although a little too close to the edge. He's taking a bit of storm
but
damage.
actually, it's just enough to run away. It's just enough to break line of sight, and somehow
Yeah.
he did really well there. He didn't actually swing under the trees. He went above and out of line of sight of the people. So I'm not sure if that was intentional or accidental, but that perhaps may just have helped him escape with the sliver of HP that he had.
Yeah, the trees blocked the line of sight, and they weren't able to tell where he went, probably. It looks like the forest is catching fire. Not again. We are seeing some fights going across this small patch of trees that we've got remaining on the map, which will be consisting of the majority of the map. Oh, beams coming in from the side.
The Bush players are just too good this season. The Bush plays are insane because the DPS,
The Bush
the
is in the
TTK
Spider-Man.
on the MK, the time to kill is so incredibly high. Or low, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're looking at
Building with
CRG
brick
Mech.
now, yeah.
the back
They're
of zone.
keeping away from that fire. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. They're just. I'm just commentating on how they're in the back of zone. This is going to be probably the most advantageous position right now. They're actually on the only hill. They're in the corner of zone. They're not going to get third-partied, and they're most likely going to have eyes on the entire battlefield. So this is probably going to be the best location. Hopefully, though, they just have to hope that the next zone favors them as opposed to the opposite side.
Yeah. So far, well, they're not going to have to move that far if they do have a movement in the zone. But I think players are going to start looking for height at this point.
Dark
Ooh,
Shadow
taking-
gets the elimination
taking a
on
fight.
Anonymous 317, who was just out in the
Ooh.
open, who wasn't ready for it, who did not
They
check all
did
his
get lucky
angles.
with the zone also. Oh man, the players across the map from here are definitely not feeling it with that new zone.
Especially with this grenade launcher that this team has. They're going to have a lot of aggression.
Actually, it's a 3v1 at the moment.
Oh, and they're actually going
This
to push
team
it.
against them, and yeah, they noticed that, and they're saying, "Hey, this is easy. Let's
Situation,
shoot him."
Players down to a sliver of HP. Can he make it happen? It's
He
going to
is
be...
holding his own, trying to get
Who is
that
the
height.
last?
Ooh,
Who's the
blocks
last
off the
player?
enemies.
Is it Tree?
He does have a box, but ooh, playing for height, it's gonna be really hard to take
is
that
Tree.
height from 3 other players.
It's Tree
Oh man,
versus-
yeah, it is. Oh, he's stepping into the zone to get around a little bit. Does
Ladies
take a
and
little
gentlemen,
damage,
it
but he's
is
able to
your
lose him for a
player,
moment.
Tree.
Getting a shot on him. Oh,
Dark
he
Shadow
went for
takes
that,
off the
and he's not able to do
elimination.
it.
GG's a
A
well-played
crazy
Tsuchi
end of the
Mech
game
Dark-
there.
Dark Shadow and Timmy Two Shoes. They managed to take home the elimination on Tree, one of the tried and tested members of XP League. Wow. I was actually surprising. I honestly thought that Tree was going to pull another crazy 1v3 there. We've seen him
It
do
looked like it was
before.
about to start. Yeah, he got a really good shot with that shotgun off right before he got taken down. I thought it could have been turning the fight around, but unfortunately, it was not able to. Interestingly, in this battle, this match, it was very different from the one we had last game. There was no specific